What's going on, everyone? Today is an exciting day because we get to play one of the most aggressive decks in the format in Wedge. All in on putting some pilots on some early space units and trying to kill people. There has been a big shift from the normal removal that we had seen when I initially played Wedge, so I'm gonna fingers crossed here and hope I don't roll up against all of that. And we always have the clutch Chewbacca to come in for us. But before I dive into this, a huge thank you to my patrons over on Patreon. Appreciate the support from you all. It means a lot. We can always make more videos because of you. But what do we got with Wedge? Honestly, it's been a while since I've played Wedge. I think when last time I actually did play Wedge was in Jump to Lightspeed. So we've actually had 2 additional sets of cards. Now, has that added a whole lot? Not really. Because, Wedge ability really only works with pilots. So we want to play all the pilots that we can. However, there have been 2 early space units, which is one of the things that I mentioned at the time that's super important. We have the N1 Starfighter and the Bravo Squadron Fighter. Each of these is very, very strong. We have a bunch of 1 resource pilots in Nien Nunb and Dagger Squadron Pilot. They can be pumped up on turn 1, which is really, really nice. But one of the other problems with Wedge was that you ran out of cards extremely fast. So we also have cards like Unveiled Might and The Wrong Ride on the Wedge flip turn to hopefully give us an advantage there. On turn 2 is really we're going to get to see some explosive game plans where, we've got maybe turn 1, play one of these 2 drops. Turn 2, we drop, one of these cheap pilots, but then also a 3-drop space unit. That can be very powerful, or maybe another 2-drop with a 2-drop pilot. All sorts of different options with kind of the game plan that we're running with Wedge. Of course, maybe we can just roll out all of our pilots like Chewbacca and prevent it from being killed. But then we also have, with all those pilots, a little bit of a payoff in Red Leader, giving you access to a reduced space unit that can also generate more X-Wings for us. This can be really useful against certain decks that are going 1-for-1 in removal or, trying to beat us out in that way. Got a little bit of interaction, like I said, with the Wrong Ride. Can be very nice to disrupt our opponents like Overwhelming Barrage or No Glory turn when we play Wedge, which is really, really powerful, and Surprise Strike to get in some extra damage. Let's see what we could do with Wedge Yellow today. Well, joke's on me. I said all of that, and then we fight Daedra Blue in the first round. We're going to keep this for sure. We have Chewbacca. I'm keeping. It's pretty straightforward how that goes, right? I'm going to resource these 2, and then we're going to rely purely on this N1 Starfighter. They could draw a bunch of cards, so we're just going to hope that that we get there. I mean, there isn't really many options that we have, right? N1 Starfighter, they can go ahead and try to draw a card. We'll let them draw. I'm going to claim. Hopefully they don't have Daring Raid. If they have Daring Raid, it's pretty rough for us. There's a Luke. Honestly, I would have preferred, maybe a different piloting option, but that is okay. Let's resource the Nien here. And then let's just go ahead and drop in the Chewbacca on the N1 Starfighter. This is going to disrupt, they tried to power of the dark side my N1 Starfighter, so I don't know if they know what that, card actually does. That's okay, though. That's okay. Let's go ahead and resource probably the Dagger Squadron Pilot, and we'll see what my opponent's got. I mean, they got 4 resources. They're going to put Entrenched on it. Yeah, that's good. That is very good. Let's go ahead and go Poe Dameron. And do I want to attach? I think I do. The problem with not attaching is they kind of just have the opportunity to deploy Daedra and kill off my X-Wing, which kind of stinks. Ooh, Red Leader is actually super powerful here. Okay, so Red Leader is going to cost 1, 2 less, so it's 2 plus Luke I could play technically on this turn. I'm going to resource the Surprise Strike here, and we're just going to get in with the X-Wing to start us off. See what my opponent's got. They've got the Client, so let's go Red Leader here. And then, we're just going to deploy a bunch of pilots here. They can draw a card. Let's go ahead and put Luke with piloting onto Red Leader. Let's put R2 on red leader. And let's deploy Wedge as a unit and then just get in for 3 and then pass. Han, Unveiled Might. You know, I don't even think, I mean, I don't even think I resource anything really. You know, my opponent might deal with red leader immediately, but we got multiple X-Wings down. They're going to get to Super Laser Blast resources, and that's going to be pretty tough for me. So we kind of just have to do the best we can with the resources allotted to us. I mean, they are on No Glory resources. They can do kind of the client shenanigans. So that will be kind of obnoxious. Which one did they give the bounty to? I mean, I'm going to assume that they're giving a bounty to this one. That's what I'm going to assume. Yep, and that's exactly what they did. Sure. Let's go with Unveiled Might, I suppose. Onto the Wedge. Gonna attack in for 5. Yep, sure. Hit my unit. 7, 2, and 2. Pass. N1 Starver Bravo Squadron Fighter. Really unfortunate that we didn't draw more pilots. That's what I would have wanted to see. You know, a pilot on the red leader would have been massive here. Vigilance obviously is disgusting, and my opponent is in a really good spot still. I mean, it is a kind of unfortunate that that they happen to have entrenched, you know. Again, like I said, we're literally fighting the deck that I did not want to fight immediately. People with these hard control strategies. It is what it is. They're giving it to the X-Wing. You know, this is really unfortunate. I wish we could see which X-Wing they're giving it to, realistically. Because I can't tell. I can't tell. Yeah, but whatever. We're going to play this guy with piloting. I'm going to assume it's this one, so fingers crossed, you know, fingers crossed. That we're going to have that one as the pilot. Takedown. Okay, so we did hit the right one. Let's go ahead and smack in for 7. And right now, I mean, we do have lethal on board. So we hit win with the red leader, and if they have an answer, open fire, that's okay. We just claim. And red leader wins the game. So really, really, really good stuff. Even though we were up against literally the deck we didn't want to fight, we did have the Chewbacca, which is really powerful. They had Client plus Vigilance. They healed so much. They healed 15 this game. They even entrenched our Chewbacca. We even got a little bit unlucky with some of the, you know, space units. But Red Leader, like I said, Chewbacca and Red Leader are solutions to these 1-for-1 removal decks. And of course, my opponent made a big misplay on turn 2 with Power of the Dark Side into N1. If they hadn't done that, it was very likely we would have lost. So we got a little bit lucky there as well. Into our next matchup, and we got a little bit of a space-on-space match here. Let's go ahead and keep. I'm going to resource the Wrong Ride and Surprise Strike. We're going to go kind of all in on our space units here. We're going to hope. My opponent's got Kijimi Patroller, so we're going to go N1 Starfighter. Put Nien onto N1 Starfighter. We're going to pass. Ooh, Red Leader is an interesting one. Red Leader does cost, you know, 1 less right now. You know, I think what we'll do is resource this Han. Sanctioner Shuttle. Ooh, I mean, that's basically game over, to be honest. You know, we have to avoid that type of game plan from our opponents. And they just had it. You know, we can't really like try to play around the Sanctioner Shuttle or anything like that. We just have to go all in. It's a little bit unfortunate that they happen to have it, but they did, and so be it, you know. So be it. We got Luke, we've got Nien. I think what I'll do is I will resource the Luke, and then do I want to get back the N1 Starfighter? Do I care about that? I don't think so. I think we just have to kind of go all in into their base. If they have another Sanctioner Shuttle, I mean, it is over. It is over. Let's go Red Leader. We get to put Nien onto Red Leader, which is going to be pretty nice. Ooh, they have Victor Leader as well. I mean, this is about as perfect as it gets for my opponent. I mean, you don't really get a better hand than this up against us. I mean, it's so brutal. We didn't even get an attack in because they didn't have to attack at all. Oh my gosh, it's so brutal. Let's go ahead and resource the Nien. However, and let's go ahead and actually, I mean, I suppose we will just deploy and play Wrong Ride so that we exhaust a couple resources here. They won't be able to go with Clone Combat Squadron, which is nice. And they can't go Overwhelming Barrage, I suppose. They are going to get in, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13 damage. I mean, that's a lot of damage. Let's see what my opponent's got here. Again, Wrong Ride could come in clutch here. Surprise Strike would be a really nice draw for next turn. Let's go ahead and put this Han Solo onto a unit, and then, I mean, I could hit Victor Leader. So let me do the math here. We've got 9, 16. I mean, technically, we have lethal with this Red Leader next turn if we just attack base. So I think that should be the game plan. We can't really play around like a No Good To Me Dead or another Sanctional Shuttle right now. We just can't. We just can't. It's just, it is what it is. Geonosis Patrol Fighter, that pretty much solidifies the game. I mean, my opponent has literally everything you could possibly ask for when it comes to this game. I mean, it is disgusting what they've had. Victor Leader, Sanctioner Shuttle, Geonosis Patrol Fighter. I mean, yes, Vader has been kind of, that is kind of the point of Vader, but my goodness. And no Surprise Strike is really, really disappointing, to be honest. We would have had a chance potentially with, you know, if we had like a Surprise Strike here, we attack, and it's GG. I mean, super close game, to be honest. Super close. Super, super close. Even with my opponent having a disgusting hand. I mean, that is a disgusting hand. We're a side GG. And, you know, my opponent got a little bit lucky and had a good hand. We draw a little bit poorly and my opponent had a good hand. So, you know, it happens. Good, well played to my opponent. You know, there's a surprising lot of interaction right now for all of these games. Let's go ahead and keep this hand. I think I'll resource the Resistance X-Wing and the Wrong Ride. We have Millennium Falcon on turn 2, which could be useful. I'm going to go with Resistance X-Wing plus Dagger Squadron Pilot on turn 1. And my opponent's playing double Cunning, which means they're going to have access to Cunning, Waylays, and things like that. So I'm not holding out a whole lot of hope for this, but, you know, maybe we can get there. We'll see. Red Leader is actually really good. I like Red Leader. It goes well with Chewbacca. Chewbacca is obviously a very, very clutch play in this round. Spark of Rebellion. Ooh, that's tough. They're going to get rid of the Millennium Falcon. Wow, really? That's actually super surprising. I actually wasn't even going to play Millennium Falcon this turn. I was going to go for the Red Leader, so I am very happy with that. Ooh, and they discard Cunning? I am shocked right now. They discarded Cunning. Oh, because they have a second Cunning. Sure. Gross. They're going to +4/+0. Okay. Let's go ahead and cheapen the Chewbacca. Get N1 Starfighter down. I mean, my opponent's hand is gross, right? They've had double Cunning, Sparkle Rebellion. I mean, Sparkle Rebellion is not actually too bad, but wow, double Cunning is gross. That is truly a gross start. Honestly, I don't think you discard the double Cunning. We're going to claim here, and then let's see what we draw. So I can put a second Chewbacca down. I don't think that'll be relevant. So I'm going to deploy as a pilot onto the N1 Starfighter, and we'll play the Wrong Ride. So we're going to shrink their resources here. And then we can put Dagger Squadron Pilot on the X-Wing, which is pretty good. We have a lot of damage available to us. I mean, they can't play Cunning this turn, which is going to be pretty nice. They can mess around with our hand a little bit, but I don't really care about that a whole lot. Let's just go ahead and attack in with the Resistance X-Wing, because that's the most likely to be interacted with. They're going to go Sabe. We are going to honestly play Dagger Squadron with piloting onto the X-Wing. And I mean, they're going to be able to deal a lot of damage, right? Bail Organa is a win con in of itself, but we also have a lot of damage. So if my opponent doesn't have interaction here, it's going to be pretty nice for us. Let's get in with the Red Leader. They're going to get in for 5. We're going to get with the N1 Starfighter. And I mean, if they draw Cunning, it's tough for us. They're going to claim initiative. We draw a couple of units. We're going to keep both of them. Even if they draw Cunning, though, can we win? Nope, because exhaust, bounce wins the game. Wow, they had triple Cunning this game, too. I mean, how much worse can it get for a deck like ours? Triple Cunning is disgusting. I mean, what are we fighting against these games, guys? Triple Cunning? If my opponent had discarded the other Cunning, I think they would have won. I think discarding the Cunning was a real tough situation. I mean, Cunning is like the card you want against us, right? I mean, they can't bounce X-Wing, right? Because it's 5 power, but even just exhausting units over and over and then getting +4/+0 is super, super strong. So good game to my opponent. I mean, I don't actually think they could have done a crazy amount in this game. I think the Spark Rebellion on turn 2 was obviously something that if that was just another unit, we probably would have lost. Or maybe a Waylay or something. Obviously, Waylay would have just crushed us. But wow, that I was a little bit scared about double cunning, but we managed to get there. Pretty good stuff. Man, where are all the like the ones I'm normally fighting? Okay, let's get into the game here. We've got a hand that I'll keep. I think what I'll do is probably, man. I think I'll keep a Dagger Squadron Pilot and the Han. Or a Dagger Squadron Pilot and the Nien. We're going to go wow, Marin on turn 1. Oh, geez. I mean, come on. This is nasty. All right. I feel like every game, normally this doesn't happen. Normally we are in a situation where your opponent can just completely destroy your entire strategy every single game. I mean, I played a little bit of a risky game plan for sure. No doubt about it. But I mean, this is next level of like, dang, this stinks. Surprise strike, gonna go into the resource pile. We've got Millennium Falcon. We can go ahead and, do some work here. They're gonna be able to knock out this A-Wing. My opponent's had an absolutely disgusting hand. Marin on turn 1, Grogu on turn 1. These types of cards is a little bit scary. We're gonna attack in for 2. We're gonna go with Millennium Falcon. We're gonna put Anakin on it. We're gonna attack. I'm going to keep Anakin attached, and we're gonna pass. Ooh, wrong ride is interesting. Let's pay 1, and let's see what my opponent wants to do. So to heal 2. I think what I'll do is just immediately deploy as a pilot and play the wrong ride. This prevents my X-Wing from dying. We got a second Owen. They got Chirrut. Chirrut doesn't do anything, so that's nice. I mean, I think we're just going to crush this game, even with the Marin, just because my opponent hasn't had any interaction outside of Marin. So they had Secretive Sage, Owen. If this was something a little bit more impressive, then, then maybe we would have had something to go ahead and do. I guess I'll research the N1. All right, they claim, they pass. All right, well, after seeing Marin, I thought it was going to be a little bit more impressive. I was like, dang, wow, they're going to start by just crushing our strategy. They could have attacked there to kill off the X-Wing, so I wouldn't really have been able to deploy Wedge as a pilot. I thought that's what they were going to start with, but they started with an attack with Owen. And then they didn't have anything too impressive to actually follow that up. Like, Secretive Sage, Itinerant Warrior wasn't bad, but I was worried about, like, another Grogu or, like, something that was going to be able to interact with us. A Fell the Dragon, something like that. But they just didn't have it, so they started off strong, but they didn't have anything to follow it up. And honestly, I mean, we've played wrong ride every single time when we deployed Wedge. I don't know what's in people's hands. I don't know if, they don't have any other answer. I mean, in this case, I think they only had Chirrut in hand because they discarded all their other options. I think keeping Grogu would have been the play. That would have been able to really start to knock out our units. I mean, 4 damage every single turn to things. I think we still would have been able to inch it out, but it would have been closer, certainly. I mean, it would have been really close because they would have killed out X-Wing. We would have gotten hit on the red leader, and then that would have been kind of next turn. We would have lost that. I mean, it would have been closer, I think. But yeah, no Fell the Dragons or anything like that. We kind of dodged that, and we were able to win. So good game to my opponent. And Vader Yellow finds us again. They also have the initiative again. Let's mulligan this hand. Not a fantastic turn 1 option. This one is a little bit better. Bravo Squadron Fighter is actually not too bad. I do like the Bravo Squadron Fighter. Let's go ahead and claim. The question is, do I want to start trying to pick off opponents' units? I think the answer is actually yes. I think the answer is yes here. So my opponent, we're going to play Millennium Falcon. And then the question is, what do I want to do following? Right? Waylay. Well, I'm going to claim because I'm going to be able to knock out this Screeching Tie. And then what do we want to do as a follow-up? They've got Republic Y-Wing. So they could potentially have Sanctioner Shuttle. If they do, it's kind of game over. Oh, I should have just deployed the Millennium Falcon. I mean, Vader's a tough one because if we don't deal with units, they could have Sanctioner Shuttle anyways, and then it's really, really rough for us no matter what. So, I mean, you're kind of screwed in a lot of situations in that case. You do the best you can, and wow, they have the Victor leader. I mean, this is like, again, similar to, this time their opponent had Waylay, but this is very, very similar to exactly what we did not want to see, really. Play Anakin with piloting. We'll go ahead and pilot up, but we are in trouble. We are in big, big trouble. They're going to be able to kind of go to town here, knock out all the units. We're going to get in for some damage. We're going to claim. Maybe we get a big pilot. I don't know. I mean, we have another Nien. No other big pilot here. What can we do here? I guess we Nien attack. I mean, my opponent just hits in with Vader, right? Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13. I guess it's not GG. So we're going to try to do our absolute best to get as much damage in as possible. Oh, they have Lurking Snub. All right. They got us. GG. Yep. Too strong. Sanctioner Shuttle and Waylay. Too much interaction. GG. Into our next game. Got a hand with no real fast turn. So I'm going to go to Mulligan this one. I do like this one quite a bit better. We do have the initiative, which is actually quite important. Let's see what my opponent's got going on. It could be important. It also could not be important. Oh, they got Power of the Dark Side. We're not even going to bother with putting the end on a unit here then. I think we'll just resource the Surprise Strike. They've got Power. Oh, they have Super Laser Technician. Interesting. Well, let's go Nien with piloting. Attack in, play Red Leader, pass. We got a second Wrong Ride. Gonna resource that one. Not a huge fan. Let's see what my opponent's got. They got Power. Okay, so we delete the A-Wing. We're going to go ahead and play Luke with piloting. Attack in for 6. Play the N1 Starfighter, pass. Unveiled Might is actually pretty good here. We can deploy as a pilot onto one of these units and then play Dagger Squadron pilot on the other. Okay, I mean, we're going to be able to grab that, so that ends up working out for us. Let's go ahead and deploy as a pilot. I mean, they're gonna, honestly, maybe it would have been worth it not to do that. Let's play Unveiled Might using plot onto the N1 Starfighter. Let's go with attack in for 8. Let's go ahead and pilot this guy onto the X-Wing. Attack in for 4 and pass. The question here is, do they have a Devastator? And if they have a Devastator, I guess they can't play Devastator, huh? Because I for some reason I thought they were going to be on 8 resources and they could play the big Devastator. Opponent saying GG. Honestly, I think, there would have been a reasonable, expectation not to play Luke off of the no glory only results. At first I thought they had Traitorous and they were Traitorsing, but I was like, wait a second, that's a 4-drop. You can't Traitorous that. Traitorous would have been way scarier. If they Traitorous, I think we might lose there. Traitorous is like a huge downside. Honestly, it might even be worth playing some upgrade hate just because of Traitorous. It's so brutal. Next matchup, we've got ourselves a match up against Unity of Purpose Rex. I think we're actually pretty advantaged here. What do I want to do? I think I'll resource these two. Because I'm going to go A-Wing Dagger Squadron. And then we're going to pass. Chewbacca's pretty good here, honestly. Let's see what my opponent's got. They're going to play Battlefield Marine. We're going to attack in for 5. We're going to play Red Leader. Let's see if they decide to attack. They do. We're going to claim. We've got Poe Dameron. So I could play potentially both of these pilots. I can also play Chewbacca plus X-Wing, so I think that's what I want to do. Let's go ahead and attack in for 5 immediately. You know, my opponent's kind of doing their thing, but we're also doing our thing. And we have a lot more HP than them, and they're not going to be able to get to Unity of Purpose. They require more actions than we do. I think this game is pretty much in the bag at this point. We don't have a wrong ride, so let's just go ahead and attack in for 5, and then the red leader finishes out this game. I mean, this is this was a 1-minute game. Let's be honest, guys. This is a 1-minute game. GG. GG. Not particularly close. You know, when you're fighting against an opponent with Unity of Purpose combo, racing them is oftentimes the best strategy. They're playing a bunch of dorky units, and if you could go ahead and drop a pilot and get in an extra damage, I mean, it is over. They don't really have a ton of interaction. Usually when I'm playing Rex, I got command, and I've got maybe a strike true, like an Admiral Akbar, but that's all for ground arena, right? You don't have any interaction for space. And 2 ships in the night, and we just beat them down. And I've got a bonus game in here. Usually I play 7, but we got 8 games because these games have been like 1 to 2 minutes. You know, run in, lose real quick, win real quick. You know, at some point, even though I was jokingly complaining, you know, obviously there's always some truth to some jokes. Yes, I don't want to see getting absolutely slaughtered by some random, you know, hard control list, but that's what you sign up for with this list, right? You sign up to be absolutely demolished, and that's okay. You know, sometimes it just happens, and that's totally okay. I have been very impressed with Wrong Ride, though. I think that's one of those cards that actually really helps out Wedge, because when you get to the Wedge flip tournament, you guys have seen, I'm very low on cards, or like the cards I play really doesn't do a whole lot in the game for me at that point. So just kind of being able to, you know, take advantage and just dropping in something has been pretty important. Let's go ahead and get rid of the surprise strike here. Yeah, and I think I'm going to go, you know, my opponent could have like Sabine's Masterpiece, which I would be scared of being ECL'd out. We got Fleet Lieutenant. So they're going to be racing us is kind of the game plan here, which means I'm going to go with X-Wing and then Dagger Squadron Pilot. And then we're going to get in for 5. We've got another Unveiled Might. You know, honestly, I think what I'll do is just resource the Bravo Squadron fighter because I kind of want to just drop an Unveiled Might on this A-Wing here. Yep, Unveiled Might onto the A-Wing. And this gets in for a ton of damage here. And it's going to be pretty nice. They've got K2, but again, none of these units really affect us. So a little bit tricky here because I don't want to be deploying Wedge as a unit. If I do, well, actually I probably can, and it's probably fine because they can't ECL Poe. Oh, well, they just lose if that's the plan, right? Because Wedge deals 3, so now we just hit in with these, and if it's, you know, guys, 1 to 2 minute games. I mean, you know, if you want to win or lose fast, I mean, this is what you do. This is what you do. Oh my goodness, there were some decks in there that try to compete, you know, but even those we beat. Really, we got demolished by the Vader Yellows. The Vader Yellows absolutely crushed it because the thing about Vader Yellows is that you have a space focus, so you can interact with my space units. But then you also have the removal options that just add to the board, like Sanctuary Shuttle. You got Victor Leaders to outsize and outsmart. You've got Waylays and No Good to Me Deads and Snub Fighters. It's just brutal. It's just brutal. All right, what did we learn with Wedge Yellow? Well, we won in 1 to 2 minutes, or we lost really hard, or it felt like we were losing. You know, honestly, we did pretty well. You know, I had good fun complaining about being killed, but like I said at the beginning of the game, it was like, or beginning of the video, you sign up for it. So if you're gonna complain, do it in jest. And you know, just expect that there are some times where you're just gonna straight up lose. We do have a lot of ways to interact with those, you know, very, very controlling decks. Red Leader and Chewbacca are the 2 winners here. Red Leader was absolutely critical against the Daedra matchup. Chewbacca also pretty good. I think there's some merit to running main deck Upgrade Hate because of Entrenched or because of, you know, Traitorous. Those 2 cards are absolutely brutal for us. Waylays are super, super sucky as well. And you saw up against the Vader lists that, well, we got captured or bounced and we just lost. I don't remember how many games we lost today, but I believe we lost both of them against the Vader Yellows. They had fantastic hands both games. And we actually had a pretty good hand too. It's just that their good hand is like exact counter to what we're trying to do, right? Capture a small unit that's got a pilot on it. Now you got 2 cards down. and they deploy their board still. I mean, that's brutal. One card that was especially good, and this is brand new, is the Wrong Ride. Now, I say it's good. I don't know how good because I don't know what my opponents were planning, but I do know that on the turn when they had 5 resources, they didn't do anything in a lot of those games because we played the Wrong Ride. So the difference between 5 and 3 resources is huge because usually at 4 or 5 resources, there's a lot of interaction. At 3 resources, there's a lot less, especially in like Vigilance Command and that type of style of deck. So sometimes just stalling out, and just deploying that and preventing random things from coming down is just good enough. And Wrong Ride did it. Honestly, if you want to come in and play 1 to 2 minute games and you just don't even care, you just want to get in, smack your opponent, whatever they're doing, whatever, who cares? I'm going to do what I'm going to do. This is the deck for you. I've always had fun playing these style of decks as, just getting in and hey, I want to play some Star Wars Limited, but I want the games to be fast. Well, there you go, guys. Double Red Kylo or Wedge Yellow. But Wedge Yellow, fortunately, will be sticking around because this entire deck, with the exception of Millennium Falcon here, is actually rotation proof. I guess Surprise Strike, but you could replace Surprise Strike with some other options. Every other one is a pilot or a space unit that we got from JTL or further, right? So something to think about, if you wanted to just play some pilots, this is the time to do it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below, and I'll see you all for the next one.